Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and open up this jar of flies. Or perhaps, as some may prefer to say, a jar of lies. Either way, we're opening it up and we're going to discover what's inside. I can only imagine. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you stopping in for this Long Song Saturday, this full album listen and reaction that we're going to engage ourselves into with Alice in Chains. We're going to listen to, of course, their 1994 release, Jar of Flies, their third studio EP, not necessarily a full album. Why are we listening to this? Because honestly, I wanted to. This isn't necessarily an album that's been suggested or recommended or sponsored or anything. I just wanted to listen to this. I know Alice in Chains with like their hits, Wood, Dem Bones, Rooster, and a couple other tracks here and there. But looking at the track listing on this one, I haven't heard any tracks from this. So honestly, I would like to. I enjoy what I've heard of Alice in Chains, and I would just like to explore more. However, when I did a search, I did see that this album had been suggested by Seth Coma, who said that Rotten Apple is one of your favorite tracks, and then also Frank Pensigelli as well said that this is one of the albums that influenced your life. So thank you guys for mentioning and in a sense recommending the album. But like I said, I'm doing this one just because I wanted to. Before we get in there, let's get the plugs out the way. You can sponsor reactions if you wanted to buy me a coffee. Patreon has exclusive content. Like and subscribe if you're interested in, just what I do in general. And just as a disclaimer, there's a chance that at some point I may get a call and I have to pick it up. It's a very important call. There's a chance that I might get that call during this reaction. If I do, I'll just edit wherever it is. Hopefully it's not during the music, but if it is, I'll edit it. I'll, go back a little bit and listen to whatever we're listening to again. Missing a few seconds and then coming back is not going to be a big deal. It's going to be okay, but it is an important call. I cannot miss it. So, but yeah, otherwise, that's it. That's all I have for you before we dive on in. Of course, grab something to drink, grab something to eat, lie down, sit back, relax. And let's just go ahead and dive on into it. We're going to show up with the first track, which is Rotten Apple. Not a rotten apple story, but I do have unwashed lettuce story. That I forgot to wash the lettuce before I made my salad. I made my salad trying to be healthy. Boy, it did not agree with me whatsoever. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the first track, Rotten Apple, Alice in Chains. And as always, my friends, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much for just being here. And this sip of ice cold, you can hear the ice in there. Ice cold water, ice ASMR. This first sip is, of course, to you. Here we go. Effect on the guitar. I love the tone that the guitar has. Bluesy and grungy at the same time. That's a magical opening. Those ghostly vocals waving over. higher note I was expecting. And he's singing so like interesting. Like, I haven't heard his voice like that. Oh, there's that guitar. To me, this almost sounds like graveyard music. and this guitar tone is so unique to me. Calm down. That's beautiful. That's like a certain ambience in here, in the murkiness of the music. And the melody is kind of catchy too in a way. You heard the echo on the snare, the pop? Oh, this guitar coming right back. The guitar's still high noting. It's so bluesy but grungy. That's really cool how that sound is done. And some kind of complex drumming as well. Some of the finer details there. Kind of hopscotch in there at the end. He's kind of hopscotching there at the end with the guitar. That is a brilliant opening track to the album. It sets the course, it sets a mood, it sets the tone, it just sets. And as it goes on, I imagine we're going to get a spike after. Spike. Rotten Apple is a really eerily beautiful track to listen to. It's the best way I can describe it because there is a certain eeriness in the murkiness of the guitar from the moment that it starts, and the way that the guitar begins to, like I said, bluesily, grungily creep up into the atmosphere. It's like this dense layer of fog that the guitar constantly plays and performs in, while, the bass and the drums kind of perform under that with the kind of murky, marshy rhythm. The whole track actually sounded to me, this is going to sound silly, but I think you'll understand. It sounded to me like the musical landscape of a graveyard. There's a beauty to it because, of course, it holds our loved ones, it holds memories, it holds, the past and relations and family and friends and, things like that, right? There's a certain beauty to it, but at the same time, there's a certain eeriness to it. There's something a little creepy, So it has these two different sides, and I think the band kind of rides this line really, really well with what they accomplish here. Cantrell, his guitar playing sounds so unique and so, like I said, I think the combination of blues and grunge that comes through in his guitar playing, the effects that he's playing with, I hear a wah in there, I'm sure, but other stuff going on as well. It just has a very unique sound to it. And I love the dimension that it brings into the music. The bass playing, Mike Inez, I like how that's the backbone of this whole thing. And then the drums from Sean Kinney are actually, to me, very much more atmospheric, kind of playing more to the density of the ambience in there rather than the actual, not as like a straightforward drummer, I guess is the best word. It's not just ba ta 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 ba ta ta. It's not just the that kind of stuff. It's something more almost percussive that's being played with back there, which I think is really, really well done. And then of course Lane Staley on the vocals here. And okay, from the tracks that I've heard from Staley, like even his singing here sounds kind of completely different. It's gloomier, once again edging more towards an atmospheric kind of sound. But at the same time, still, it doesn't have punchiness to it, but it still has a sort of way of cutting through the fog. It cuts through that ambience that the band has made there. That's incredible. That's really, really incredible. Now, before I dive into the lyrics, I'm not getting the call, but I got to respond to a text. So I'll edit this really quick. Don't worry. Okay, I'm done now with the call and everything, but I almost pressed the end record button, which I thought was recording again because my mind reset. It would have been a disaster. Because imagine if I didn't catch that and I just kept on going through the album talking and I was never recording. I am recording, right? Okay, we're recording. Okay, innocence is over, ignorance is spoken, confidence is broken, sustenance is stolen, arrogance is potent. So this is definitely the degradation or desecration of something, of innocence. What I see is unreal. I've written my own part. Eat of the apple so young, I'm crawling back to start. I repent tomorrow, like something that hasn't even occurred. I suspend my sorrow. Like if he doesn't progress or look to the future, he won't have to encounter his sorrow, whatever that may represent. Like he's putting it off, basically. What I see isn't real. I've written my own part. Eat of the apple so young, I'm crawling back to start. Romance is fallen. Recommend you borrow. What I see is unreal. I've written my own part. Eat of the apple so young, I'm crawling back to start. I mean, I'm getting the whole song. I think it's this, the loss of innocence, right? The loss of innocence and then ignorance is spoken. The album cover shows a young boy looking at a jar of flies, perhaps in some capacity, representing the boy is losing his innocence. Just as time goes on, just growing up, right? Something of that nature. Am I in the right ballpark? I feel like I'm swinging the bat, but I don't know if I'm hitting the ball. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Nutshell. Here we go. how the drums come in, like
chase Miss Pretty Lies.
listen to the roominess on the kick.
Face the path of time, and yet I fight, and yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to go home.
That's a beautiful atmosphere.
Gift of self is rape. My privacy is raped, and yet I find repeating in my head.
That's good.
If I can't be my own, I feel better dead.
This is the part where you rock out, but it still holds back in a sense. I love this song. This was such a well put together, incredibly performed, emotional piece of music. The guitar. So the strumming already, you have that atmosphere, right? Which apparently we have a lot of in this album just based off these first two tracks. But just the strumming guitar already rings in a certain ambience, right? Then, once again, the way that I mentioned the drums coming in, it's almost acting more as percussion than it is like a pure drum set or a pure, rock sounds. There's just a different approach to the drumming that I'm finding really engaging in its subtleties here, especially with the way that it kind of floats into the picture and fades in the beginning. And then the singing is very emotional. There's not even a hint. There's a spoonful of sadness that's interjected there and inserted alongside with the lyrics as well. And the way that he sings it, it's very convincing. It comes across incredibly genuine. But I have to once again talk about the guitar and the way that melody, that lead comes in after the strumming guitar, which was already wonderful. But that lead, the progression there is catchy. It somehow, this is going to sound weird, it somehow both lightens up the mood and yet in another broad stroke makes it even gloomier. There's something profoundly depressing about the way that it's being played. And yet at the same time kind of reinvigorating. So I don't know how he's getting that out of it, but for some reason that's how I'm kind of at least interpreting it or hearing it. And I mean, it just feels like a classic guitar solo, the way that it comes in. And it's very much sustained. It's not flashy whatsoever. There's a lot of longer notes, but the tone of it, the way he plays it, there's a little moment where he kind of gives a little playfulness, just a little bit, and then he, swings it right back to that melody. I think that's incredible. This is a really, really gorgeous track to listen to. And I'm very impressed by this one, to be honest. And there's not even a lot of lyrics here. We chase misprinted lies. We face the path of time. And yet I fight this battle all alone. No one to cry to, no place to call home. My gift of self is raped. My privacy is raked. Like he's exposed. Once you rake leaves, they're exposed, right? He feels like his gift of self, the one thing that he has, his himself, there's a word I want to use, but I can't think of it. But self, has been abused, raped. It's been invaded. And yet I find repeating in my head, if I can't be my own, I'd feel better dead. If he loses self, well, then what does he have? And this line here, no one to cry to, no place to call home. I mean, how sad is that, right? When you have no one to talk to, no one to cry to just vent to. And then you don't have a place of safety, a place of shelter, literally or symbolically and metaphorically. No matter what, either way, it's definitely very hurtful. And no wonder the music sounds the way it does. I think that is an incredible track here. Says a lot of information about this track. Says since 2011, Jerry Cantrell dedicates this track to late original members Lane Staley and Mike Starr during the concerts. The lyrics were written by Lane Staley. Says bassist Mike Inez says, when asked what song makes him think of Lane Staley the most, he says, I think the number one for me is Nutshell. Lane was very honest with his songwriting, and in this track, he really put everything in a nutshell for everybody. That song still gets me choked up whenever I play it. I mean, it is a very sad song. I get a little teary-eyed, and sometimes when we're doing the arena runs especially, they'll have some video footage of Lane. And I look and I see me and Jerry and Sean looking the wrong way. We're not looking at the audience, we're looking back at Lane, and it's pretty cool that there's that song for us. Yeah, it's just a sad thing. That's wonderful. Incredible track. That's really, really a brilliant one. Let's go ahead and move on into the next one, which is I Stay Away. Here we go. Some strings now, huh? There's the voice of the "yer." Yeah. I love the way he says "yer." The bass. Inez. I like how there's almost a funky drawl to the bass playing there. Listen to the bass. I like how strings kind of rode over the hill. Accented by the violin. It keeps getting deeper. This sounds so light, especially the strumming of the guitar and the strings there. Cries that out. This is good. We're in for a great time with this EP. This one brings some of that uplifting nature handedly back into the music, right? This one raises us out of the mire while still retaining a very specific atmosphere. But can we talk about Inez and his bass? He is the standout on this one. The moment when the music becomes heavy, and I won't go as far as to say that it becomes like a funk rock track, because that's not where I want to take this, but he definitely involves some particular groove and funk in here in that one moment right before the breakaway where Lane kind of goes off and starts singing very emotionally. Like, I think that is such a cool moment. It kind of opens up the floor a little bit. He gets in there, does his thing, guitar and everything's still going, but it just leaves a little bit more room for him. And it's such a thick sound that now that becomes the focus. That becomes the atmosphere. And I love that. Yeah. Now, Staley, the way that he sings out, cries out, and wails into the night, I stay away, is, I almost said skin bump inducing, but that's not what I meant. Goosebump inducing, which I guess is kind of the same thing. And it just becomes that much more powerful every time he does it, every time it comes around. And then for it to be accented after he finishes off that statement with those strings is a beautiful, like I said, kind of over the hill moment. This is how I see it. I see it as like Staley singing and forming that hill, and then the sunrise is just shining light over the horizon, and that's those strings coming in over the hill, kind of gilding it and kind of giving it, am I saying that right? Like providing a gold layer on top, and like kind of just pushing it, giving that dove a little bit of an updraft just to push it that much further. And that's really, really beautifully done. These are really This has definitely given me a new appreciation for Alice in Chains. Not that I haven't really listened to them a lot, but like I said, I know they're hits, but this has given me like really a lot more a depth of appreciation about them. Yeah, hey, I want to travel south this year. Whoa, won't prevent safe passage here. Why you act crazy? Not an act, maybe. So close, a lady, shifty eyes, shady. Tears that soak a callous heart. Why you act frightened? I am enlightened. Your weakness builds me, so someday you'll see. I stay away. Like he's staying away for a reason. Why you act crazy? Not an act. He repeats those lines again. I also like how, whatever the opposite of verbose they are, they're very conservative when it comes to their writing and their lyrics. Because, I mean, I don't know, this, from what I can assume, they don't need to speak a lot. Let the words that they do put there have a lot of meaning, rather than having a lot of words to perhaps over-encumber the song, take away from the meaning. So he wants to travel south this year. Won't prevent safe passage here. Tears that soak a callous hearts. Why you act frightened? I am enlightened. Your weakness builds me, so someday you'll see I stay away. I feel like he's staying away to not hurt, perhaps, this other person because he cares. Let me look at the Wikipedia thing, because I actually am not 100% sure on this one. It says this song marked the first time the band wrote with bassist Mike Inez. Well, it shows he made a splash here. The single reached number 10 on the Billboard mainstream rock charts and stayed there for 26 weeks. It was also nominated for a Grammy Award in 95. Let's see. Jerry Cantrell said of the song, "That was the first time we'd written with Inez, which makes this another special song. The whole Jar of Flies EP proved to both of us and the fans what a talented and valid part of the band he was. He plays the nastiest, darkest stuff, but he's got the sweetest heart in the world." And it was really, really nice. It says the track is notably softer than their previous recordings. However, despite the bright opening guitar riff, the song's pre-chorus suddenly detours in dark and sludgy electric guitars and haunting vocal harmony. That's a great way to describe it. Sludgy. I was saying marshy and murky, but sludgy, that hits the right place as well. And of course, there's some chart information for you, and it was certified gold in the U.S. I'm gonna move my fan really quick. I feel like it's. Do you think is it blowing into the microphone? I mean, you can't like live respond to me. I just feel like it may have been blowing into the microphone a bit. Let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be No Excuses. Here we go. See, now we're grooving. Everyone's getting a moment to shine. Everyone's getting a moment to shine. Hear the percussion pop? That's a really nice groove. Almost like a faster Steve Jensen groove.
It's alright. There comes a time. Got no patience to search for peace of mind.
I love that percussion pop on the end.
Laying low, wanna take it slow. No more hiding or disguising truths I've sold. Every day it's something hits me out so cold. You find me sitting by myself, no excuses that I know.
This one's definitely lighter on the melody. Gotta hit those percussion hits. It's like a swing groove from
It's
Japan.
okay. Had a bad day. Hands are bruised from breaking rocks all day. Drained and blue, I bleed for you. You think it's funny, well you're drowning in it too.
came through like right before. Just very similar. Slowed down, killed that hi-hat a little bit. Okay, can I mention an underrated aspect of any album that I really enjoy? An album is, in some capacity, supposed to be a journey. Or, like I said, maybe not always literally, but you know what I mean. What I like about this is that the album tonally has started like down here deep in the mire. And then song by song, it's slowly kind of come up. And here at exactly the halfway point, it feels like we're on the top of the hill because this is definitely the lightest track. It definitely has the lightest sound to it. It's not heavy or broody or gloomy like the other tracks. There's something here. And I think that Stay Away was kind of that transitional period. And now it feels like we're at a particular peak when it comes to like the lightness of the music. So I like how there's actually been an upbuilding to a certain kind of sort of zenith so far in the album. Of course, we'll see if this holds true, as it goes on. But whether we go back down or whether we keep going up or whether we kind of even out and start kind of playing in the mix, we'll find out. But I do like how there's been a certain escalation because it lends itself very well to like a full album listen and just listening to the whole thing in one shot and, seeing where that journey takes you, both musically, but especially with like a track like this, emotionally. And like, I like how, once again, if the previous track I focused on Inez, here I'm focused on the drums because especially the way the hi-hats were just flipping in there. Kinney was just having a great time. And I said it reminded me of like a Steve Jensen beat from like Japan. And it's because I find the way that Steve constructs his drum patterns are deceptively simple, but they're always groovy. Here I'm getting kind of something similar with Sean in that like, well, I won't say that this sounds deceptively simple, especially the back and forth going to the hi-hats, those very quick fills, and then hitting the percussion. Like, it doesn't sound simple to me at all, but it sounds like once you lock it in, you've got it. And I like how he establishes that very cool groove from the very beginning. And then as the song progresses, he keeps it for the most part. It doesn't really have a lot of changes, but there's moments where he might empty it out a little bit. For example, near the end, when he stops with the fills on the hi-hat, stops with those quick 16th notes and just pulls back, allowing for more space, that atmosphere to kind of float back in. And like, I think that that's very smart to have a groove that's so involved, and then throughout the song, just pick out an element of it. Just pick out something. It works very, very well. Like, maybe I can actually show you. Here's your fill. There you go. Let's get one measure of it. Right? You got the groove, but then if you compare that to the ending, same groove, but things are kind of pulled apart. You get to do this. See? No longer the hi-hat's doing that. And now the snares are more involved. So it's just a cool way of keeping like an interesting groove. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to change like one little thing. 1, boom, 3, 4. It's not like a simple thing like that. It's something more involved. And he set that up from the very beginning. And I'm most impressed in this track by him. Honestly, everything else was nice in this song. This track didn't like, blow me away like the previous 3. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying I didn't like it. I enjoyed it. But it was just, I was so focused on his drumming that I think that that's the most impressive part of this one. And I also see that apparently on this track, it's not Lane singing. It's going to be Jared Cantrell on here. And I love when he plays the guitar into that chorus, because that just makes it that much more of a powerful moment when he kind of provides a different lead under the chorus of this track here. Let's look at these lyrics. It's all right, there comes a time. Got no patience to search for peace of mind. Laying low, want to take it slow. No more hiding or disguising truths I've sold. Every day it's something hits me all so cold. You find me sitting by myself, no excuses that I know. It's okay, had a bad day. Hands are bruised from breaking rocks all day. Drained and blue, I bleed for you. You'd think it's funny while you're drowning in too. Like, huh, You're laughing at me, but buddy, you're in it too. Every day something hits me cold. You find me excuses. No excuses. Yeah, it's fine. We'll walk down the line. Leave our rain a cold trade for warm sunshine. You, my friend, I will defend. And if we change, well, I love you anyway. And then it repeats the lines from there. So no more trying to sell you, disguising truths. No more trying to sell you, lies and things like that. Like, let's walk out of the cold together. Let's move on. I'll bleed for you. I feel like these are two friends that are like going through hard times together, and they realize it, and they're there to support each other and kind of get themselves out of those hard times. You find me sitting by myself. No excuses that I know. Like I can't excuse, whatever the issue is, but we're gonna do that. We're gonna work together, and if we change, well, I love you anyway. That's how at least I read that. It says that this song also became a success as well. Their first track to reach #1 on Billboard's mainstream rock charts for a total of 26 weeks. Let's see. The song's sound is a departure from some of the band's heavier work. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that lovely syncopated drum. That's a great way to say it. Let's see. I don't care about chords. Here we go. The lyrics penned by Cantrell are thought to be about his unstable relationship with band vocalist Lane Staley, highlighting both their difficulties as well as their friendship. The final verse seems to come to a resolve in stating that Cantrell will defend Staley and that, should they grow further apart, he will love Staley anyway. Okay, so the issue that they are both supporting each other on is themselves in a way. So I'm imagining, I guess they have a very strained relationship for whatever reason that might be. But at the end, they're still a band of brothers, literally, or at least maybe not literally, but a band is what I meant, like of brothers in a band that sticks with each other. And of course, here's all your chart information. I was trying to bring it all together. All right, let's move on into the next track here, which is going to be Whale and Wasp. One big, one small. Sounds like a whale song. Can you imagine seeing them live with an orchestra or like at least a quartet? Like a gentle lead. The tone is just very buzzy. I'm gonna let this lead into the next track because this was just instrumental. It has a gentle yet kind of mystical quality to it. That's really nice. Just gotta rip it at the end. Don't follow. Nicely picks up from the gentleness of the previous track, right?
Hey,
This sounds like something Neil Young would sing, like this particular moment.
Hey, I'm just wandering my own road. Hey, I can meet you here tomorrow.
It's that dusty road kind of blues.
Say goodbye, don't follow. Misery so hollow. Hey, you will live a life of love. Hey,
Who's playing the harmonica, actually?
you pass me down that bottle.
David Atkinson.
Hey, you
I like that push backed up by the other band
can't
members.
shake me round now. I get so lost and don't know how. Yeah, it hurts to care. I'm going now.
Big strum. Right? Doesn't this sound like something Neil Young would sing? Like even the music to an extent. Now harmonica's ripping up the lead a little bit.
Say goodbye, don't follow.
So Don't Follow, it definitely takes the more, I couldn't help but say it, like a Dusty Road approach. It sounds like I'm leaving, I have my bag on me. Remember the old cartoon with like the red bag and you're carrying all your belongings and you just hoofing it, walking down this long dusty road, leaving home, leaving somewhere, and heading wherever that road takes you. This one definitely approaches almost like to me, a folk rock kind of sound, or, leading towards that blues rock, especially with the harmonica, which was played by not a band member, but one of the personnel here on the album, David Atkinson. And I really do like what it added. Really like what it added to the music here. Instead of, for example, making the guitar the lead here. No, the band says, let's do something a little bit different, Let's give them a different sound. And I think that achieves a great deal of success here, at this point in the album, still giving us something fresh to listen to. Gone is kind of that murky atmosphere built from before, from like Inez and the other guitar and everything, but now it's just kind of acoustically strumming along. There's a moment, of course, halfway through, because this is a track of 2 parts, where halfway through the drums come in, we get a little bit more power briefly before it kind of relegates back to its, drumless acoustic form there. So there's like a little pop, but then it goes back to its own vulnerabilities, I would say. And the singing is nice. This reminded me of, like I said it several times, something that Neil Young would perform. It sounds kind of in that sphere, I would say. And this feels like a nice kind of downward spiral, not Nine Inch Nails, but this feels like a nice downward spiral coming back down as it leans towards the final track on the album. Oh, and Whales and Wasp, I really like that short instrumental. Like, it had kind of a mystical sound to it. The guitar still had that buzziness to it, but like it had a cool atmosphere that built off of what they previously did really nicely. Hey, I ain't never coming home. Hey, I'll just wander my own road. I can't meet you here tomorrow. Say goodbye, don't follow. Misery so hollow. Like at the end, he's like all of this is a directive, right? I'm not coming home. I'm going to go my own way. Don't follow me here. I can't meet you. Like, I'm leaving. Bye. And then he ends like misery so hollow, almost revealing something about himself, right? Hey, you, or maybe he's saying that about the place he's currently at. It's hollow and it's filled with misery. Hey, you're living life full throttle. Hey, you pass me down that bottle. You can't shake me around now. I get so lost and don't know how. And it hurts to care. I'm going down. Like, he's definitely finding himself in dire straits and down in the dumps. Forgot my woman, lost my friends, things I'd done and where I've been. Sleep and sweat, the mirror's cold. See my face, it's growing old. Scared to death, no reason why. Do whatever to get me by. Think about the things I've said. Read the page, it's cold and dead. You take me home, yeah, you take me home. And I feel like this is the moment of hope, right? In these dire straits, in these lowest of low places, this is the hope. Take me home. And he's asking, take me home. So he wants to. Oh, say goodbye, don't follow. Just reiterating the previous statement. I feel like this could go in a lot of different directions. We could read some of the annotations and stuff, right? Why not? Jerry isn't happy with his life at home. Yeah, I figured. So he decides to run away. Okay, we got that. I guess that's why I don't usually read the annotations. Plus, I like to see what the actual band says. This whole verse is a step-by-step process of someone going deep into an addiction, not knowing how they got into this trouble, and have no power or desire left to fight or care until the very end, when he does say, take me home. Through Lane's struggle with heroin, most of the time you'd want out and want to do whatever to get past it. But reading the page, looking at his progress, it's cold and dead, nothing's there. Him begging take me home is a look into him. He knew heroin would be his downfall and just wants to get home, wants to stop and get clean. Now that's what someone wrote. I can't tell you if that's true or not, but I guess it does in some capacities work with the lyrics here. And I don't know the band's history enough to say yes, that's what it's about, or no, it's not. Dealing with their personal struggles. Let's move on into the final track, which is going to be Swing on This. Is it like a swing on this? Or is it like a swing on this? We'll see. Maybe it'll be in a waltz. It could be in a waltz pattern. You never know. It has a weird jazzy kind of swing to it, for sure. This is the most different out of this whole thing. This works with the previous track very well, actually. I think it's very interesting that they're playing this jazzy kind of swing style in their own way. I think it's so funny they end this way.
Now I have to go home. Do as when in Rome. Let me be, I'm alright.
It's very unique.
I'm just fine. Little skinny, okay. I'm asleep anyway. Let me be, I'm okay. I'm awake anyway.
I love the pop of those drums, though. Walking that bass line. I love the way they use drums. Sean just has a very specific drum that he can play with. I mean, it's definitely I didn't want to talk over the boys there. It's definitely the most unique song on the album. Oh, but Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains, full album listen, done. Definitely the most unique song, I would say, on the album, or at least stylistically different from anything we've heard here. I guess, like its title, it does swing on this. It does get into that jazzy kind of swing style to an extent. It's so weird hearing Alice in Chains' signature style mixed with this. Like, it's unique. I genuinely can't say that, like, I hated it or I loved it. It's just like, wow, that exists. I mean, they pull it off, I think, really cool, especially because of, Inez walking the bass. Sean, I still love his drumming. I love what he brings to this because he does actually provide he's still playing his style, which I think is really unique, but there is a little bit of a jazzy flair and subtlety that he brings into the music with his drumming. And at the same time, kind of not playing heavy. Like, he doesn't really play heavy, at least in this particular, for the most part, in the album. But he does bring a certain, what's a lighter word for heavy? Whatever a lighter word for heavy, a certain gravitas, but not too much. He brings that in here, alongside with a lot of grace and subtlety, which I think works really, really well. Cantrell, I feel like he's having fun with the guitar on this track. I feel like the way he's playing, he's just, I see him smiling and playing this track. And I kind of see Lane smiling, singing the lyrics and singing the song, which perfectly like jumps off the back of Don't Follow. The lyrics kind of seem a response to that. It says, mother said, come home. Father said, come home. Sister said, come home. And so my friend said, come home. And I said, let me be, I'm all right. Right? He's kind of singing in that jazzy style, just in his own way. Can't you see, I'm just fine. Little skinny, okay. I'm asleep anyway. I didn't have to sing the whole chorus like that. But, like, you know what I mean? And I like how, everyone's saying, come home. And he's like, I'm fine. I'm a little skinny, but I'm asleep anyway. Like, don't worry about it. When you're hungry, and you don't have food or you don't have money for food, you just go to sleep. Try to sleep it off. Drink a little water, you try to sleep it off. Then I heard a voice said, son, you have a choice. I then slapped my face like he's waking himself up. Maybe I'm okay, I'm awake anyway. Okay, so there's a change where before he said I'm asleep anyway, now he says I'm awake anyway. It's too bright over here. I can shift, cannot steer. He can change the speed of his direction. He can change the speed of how he moves, but he can't change the direction. Like, he's faded. So I drive them away. I like the double entendre. For a while, then I stay. Little skinny, okay, I'm awake anyway. Now I have to go home, do as when in Rome. Then it repeats, let me be, I'm all right. Can't you see I'm just fine? Toby's still laughing. I'm assuming that's just a friend. This is the outro, not singing. This is the spoken outro there. That sounds good. Pretty good. You're laughing. It's like, that's tight. What are you talking about? Is Toby maybe the producer or someone involved? Let's see. After the song, you can hear someone barely audible dialogue. In this line, Mike is talking about their producer. What do you know? Toby Wright, who was laughing in the recording booth. I knew Toby's not any of the band members, so I figured it had to be an engineer, producer, someone like that. So, anyways, it definitely ended on a note. I can't say it's my favorite song on the album, which would easily be Nutshell, but really fantastic nonetheless. Also, I had forgotten to click on the Wikipedia article for Don't Follow, so let's go ahead and look at that briefly. It says the song spent 7 weeks on Billboard's mainstream rock charts and also peaked at number 25. It's very melancholic and soft. Yeah, we heard. Gentle wail of harmonica. Cantrell sings most of the song except the bridge. Let's see. Producer Toby Wright said of this track, it was Jerry's concept of having him start out the song. Lane come in, and then we finish up with two sides of the story type of thing, which I thought was a brilliant concept. And of course, it goes on from there. And it's there's your chart position. Same as what we read. So anyways, Nutshell is definitely my favorite track on this album. And I think the final track with Swing on this is kind of a swing and a little bit of a miss, but not like a horrible miss. I think that it's really cool that they tried that style. I love when a band just tries something, whether it's always successful or not, try something different. And I think they executed that. I don't love it, but I think it sounds really great. I think the album from Rotten Apple to Whale and Wasp is like pretty much perfect. I don't love the final two tracks. Don't Follow is good. It's just not as interesting as to me as the first like 3 tracks especially, I would say. But Nutshell is absolutely the key. That is 100% the diamond in a diamond mine. You thought I was going to say in the rough. Come on now. You weren't listening. You weren't paying attention. Also, look back at the beginning of this video, or maybe like in the first 20 minutes or so of this video, and look how light it is. Light it is in the back. That's because literally, you may have heard it, but it's just started thundering, just started getting cloudy, and now the clouds are rolling and it's getting darker. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed listening to the music alongside with me, whether you're a fan of the band or this is something new in your hand. Thank you for taking a stand and listening to me talk about the band. Please clap. You already saw the plugs, but I'll run them again really quick. You got the Buy Me a Coffee here. You got Patreon exclusive content. You can, all that other stuff. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you listening. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you all later. Bye, guys.